সিনেটার তৃতীয় সিজনের 6th এপিসোডে আমি স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি মালিহা মাসিয়াত। আজকে আমাদের সাথে উপস্থিত আছেন দুজন ইন্টারন্যাশনাল গেস্ট এবং দুজন আমাদের ন্যাশনাল গেস্ট। প্রথমে আপনাদের সবাইকে আমি পরিচয় করে দিতে চাই বেরাত গকুস, ডিরেক্টর অফ লস্ট পেন, এবং কাং শিংইউ, ডিরেক্টর অফ অন অফ। এবং আমাদের সাথে আছেন আমাদের ভেরি ওন মোহাম্মদ ফারহাদ হোসেন ফাহাদ, ডিরেক্টর অফ ইন্টারভাল, এবং আয়াতুল্লাহ মোমেন তাজকির, ডিরেক্টর অফ সন্ধিখন। আচ্ছা, so before we begin, I'd like to start with our international guests, and we had been talking in the backstage about a lot of things, but one thing I did not ask you, Beraat, is that what time is it there today, like right now?
Well, it's 4 p.m. 4 p.m.
So it's 4 p.m. in Paris.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I know that you will start at 8 p.m. So I told to myself, okay, I mean, it should be like 6 p.m. in Paris. So I was not aware that you will start like this early. Just I check out my emails, but not for the festival, just like that. And I saw that there's an email from you, like, we start in 30 minutes, the real conversation will start. So I said, wow, so between Paris and Dhaka, there's 5 or 4 hours. I did not know that. So just I start to come to Zoom, because normally I was like, oh, I should go out and walk and then come back for the festival. So hopefully I saw your email.
Yeah, thank God for that, because usually emails, people don't usually see emails. So this was just a very happy accident, like Bob Ross would say.
No, I am like sick of my emails. Always I check it out. If there's not new email, I feel alone. So I always look at what I have.
I mean, it's similar with us students. Like, we have our very own Tajkir Bhaiya. Bhaiya, like I mentioned before, I would like to mention again for Shingyu, is that Bhaiya is a term that we use endearingly for older brothers. This is something that South Asian or like Asian people, we have this thing where we use endearments for seniors. So if you see me continuously using this word, this is me paying respect to them. So
Okay.
like,
So the word Maya.
Maliha.
What? Badiha.
Maliha.
No, she used the word bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking for my name.
No, I see your name. It's Maliha, but the word for respect is what?
Bhaiya.
Bhaiya.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like kind of my big brother, big sister, something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's big brother. It's
okay.
Especially for big.
Yeah, in Turkish, I'm from Turkey. In Turkish, I'm from Turkey. We use for big brother, we use the word abi. We say if you are close, but the person is older than you and you wanna show respect, you say abi. So it's the same logic. I can understand that.
Yeah. It's so fascinating the way that language and mannerisms translate around the world. It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it shows us actually there is not a lot difference between people, between cultures, between nations, because when you look at it,
absolutely
similarities.
Yes, I would like to request Shingyu to unmute his mic so that we can talk to you about your film. I think he can't hear me. Anyway, so I'll move forward. So Beraat, tell us about your film.
Okay, my film, the name of the film is The Lost Pen. The Lost Pen is a black and white movie, one single shot. There is no cut. It's a fiction, but if you want, it's a docudrama. because in the movie there is some journalists, exiled journalists, who explained themselves their stories. So they are living together in Paris. There is an ONG association who helps that journalist. So they are living there together, La Maison de Journalistes, which means the house of journalists. So it's a story about them. There is a poem from Syria, and he's looking for his lost pen, and when he is searching his lost pen, he meets with the other people and they talk, and it's a story like that.
I'm sorry, I was having a little bit of noise interruption, thus I muted myself. That was a really fascinating story. How did the story come to be? What was the inspiration?
Well, first of all, I was living there as an exiled journalist since 2016. I am a political refugee in France. So when I was living there, I said to myself, as a journalist and filmmaker, I should explain the story of those journalists who are living with me, my friends, because they had incredible stories and they were heroes to me. They were hero of freedom of speech. So I said I should explain this story, but there was a lot of documentary, classical way. So I said to myself, if I do a documentary, it's okay, but it's kind of boring because everybody can do that. So I said to myself, I have to find something else. What can I find? I tried to be creative. So I said, oh, maybe it can be fiction and documentary. And then, when I write a story, always the place that I am in is influenced me a lot. When I write a story, for example, when I am walking in the street, sometimes I tell to myself, oh, this is a great place. I should do a movie in this place. This is so cinematic, cinematographic, so I should film something. It's always, usually, I mean, not always, but usually my mind is working like that. So I saw the building of the Maison de Journalistes. There was 2 entrances, so you can make a tour without cutting. So I said it can be a long shot without cut. And I asked myself, okay, but why a character have to make this tour? Why you should do that? So I said to myself, if you search something, if you lost something, to find it, maybe you can make a tour. You should look everywhere so you can make a tour. So I said, okay, my guy should lose something. And after that, I said to myself, what this character can lose? First of all, I said it could be a smartphone because everybody can forget a smartphone. But I said it's not so metaphoric, smartphone, or it's not poetic. I said I should find something like a metaphor for freedom of speech. So suddenly I get the idea like, oh, the pen, writing. If the guy loses a pen, it means actually those journalists who are in exile, once upon a time they lost their pen, which means freedom of speech. That's why they had to leave their country and they came to France to find that pen, which means freedom of speech. And I said to myself, the other part of the story, okay, but man, come on, who is writing with pen nowadays? I don't write with pen. I use my computer or my cell phone. So I said to myself, to make believe the audience, I should find something. Then I said, okay, this pen should be something special, like a gift. If it's a gift, which gives you a magical ideas. So that can be something that you have to find for continue to write. So I said my character is from Syria. There is a civil war. That guy can be someone who lost his mother, and the pen can be a gift from his mother. And after that, the script was finished in my mind, and I wrote.
That is such a beautiful subject to tackle. I mean, the whole time, it's absolutely beautiful how you metaphorized the pen, as there's just so much that goes on inside the film, and it's amazing. So I still haven't had the pleasure of viewing it because I am waiting to view it during the official screening. So yeah, while we're on the topic of films, I would like to shift to Tajkir Bhaiya. Tajkir Bhaiয়ার কাছে জানতে চাই যে আপনার ফিল্মটা নিয়ে যদি একটু বলতেন, এবং কিভাবে আইডিয়াটা কিভাবে এসলো, এবং ছোট্ট করে যদি ফিল্মের ব্যাপারে বলতেন, স্পয়লার্স না দিয়ে আমাদের অডিয়েন্সকে।
হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা, মানে আমার ফিল্মটার দুইটা লাইন ছিল, যেটা মানে ফার্স্টে আমি বলবো, সেটা হচ্ছে যে আপনার জীবনে যতই সমস্যা আসুক না কেন, আপনার ওভারকাম করতে হবে। মানে আপনার মন যেটা চাইতেছে, হ্যাঁ, সেটা নিয়েই আপনার আগায় যেতে হবে, যতই সমস্যা আসুক না কেন। আমার ফিল্মে আমি আসলে দেখাতে চাইছি যে মানে হয়তো কিছু একটা হারাই ফেলছে, আমার প্রোটাগনিস্ট চেয়েছিল, হ্যাঁ, তো ও হারাই ফেলার পরেও ও আসলে ওটা কিভাবে ওভারকাম করে গেছে, এবং ও মানে ওই যে ওর জিনিসটা হারাইছে, যেটা হারাইছে ওইটা নিয়ে মানে খুব বেশি একটা মানে স্যাড হয়ে যায় না। সো এই জিনিসটা আমি আসলে দেখাইতে চাইছি যে মানে আমার নিজের জীবনেও এমন অনেক কিছু হয়েছে যে মানে যেগুলোতে আমি অনেক হয়তো হার্ড হয়েছি, কিন্তু আমি ওইটা ওভারকাম করে আসছি। সো ব্যাপারটা এমনই, আমার মেসেজটা আসলে এইটাই যে আপনার ডিফিকাল্টি যতই আসুক, আপনার মন যেটা চাইতেছে সেটা নিয়ে আপনার আগে যাওয়া উচিত।
খুব সুন্দর, মানে বেরাত এবং আপনার মানে যে ফিল্মের থিমটা ইজ সিমিলার। সো Tajkir Bhaiya's film also tackles the subject of loss. It tackles the subject of loss and how a person loses something and that goes back to finding himself. So that's a very, very beautiful, onek sundor ekta mane message. So Farhad bhaiyer kache jante chai, we're gonna go to our producer, Cine'Ta producer, and the man with many designations, who is here as a guest ajke, and he's going to talk about his film Interval.
ইন্টারভেলের বাংলা নাম, বাংলা টাইটেল কিন্তু বিয়োগ, ঠিক আছে? সো বেসিক্যালি ইন্টারভেল একটা হচ্ছে মানে লাভ স্টোরি আর হেট স্টোরির মাঝামাঝি একটা ফেজ থাকে, যে হচ্ছে যে ইউজুয়ালি আমরা কি দেখি, আমরা দেখি হচ্ছে ভালোবাসছে, প্রেম করতেছে, ঠিক আছে, বিয়ে হচ্ছে, বাচ্চা হচ্ছে, দ্যাটস ইট, মানে হ্যাপি এন্ডিং, ঠিক আছে। আবার মাঝে মাঝে দেখা যায় রাগারাগি হয়েছে, সামওয়াট কিছু একটা, বাট কখনো ওই যে ভালোবাসা ঝগড়ার মাঝখানে একটা পিরিয়ড থাকে, একটা ইন্টারভেল পয়েন্ট থাকে। ওই বেসিক্যালি ইন্টারভেল পয়েন্টটাই হচ্ছে যে আসলে মূল ইন্টারভেলটা। আর rather than story, I want to say that it's basically a treatment and an experiment with a treatment করছি ফিল্ম মেকিং এ, যে স্টোরি টেলিং এর ওয়েটা আসলে বেসিক্যালি চেঞ্জ করছি আর কি, যে হচ্ছে যে আর আমি নিজেকে আসলে একজন ডিরেক্টর থেকে মানে বেশি সাপোর্টিভ যদি আমাকে স্টোরি টেলার বলা হয়, কারণ আমি গল্প বলতে খুব পছন্দ করি, হ্যাঁ, সেটা যদি বিভিন্ন ধরনের বলা যায় আর কি, বা যেমনে বলে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করে, যেমনে প্রেজেন্ট করা যায়। সো এটা আমি যত বেশি বলবো তত স্পয়লার হবে। সো আমি জাস্ট এটাই বলবো হচ্ছে এটা একটা ইন্টারভেল পয়েন্ট, ইট ইজ এন ইন্টারভেল পয়েন্ট বিটুইন লাভ এন্ড হেট্রেড।
মানে আমার মনে হয় কি আপনার স্টোরিটা হচ্ছে যে অনেকের বুকে যে লাগবে, একদম একদম ইটস আ ভেরি টাচি।
Yeah, I just tried to touch your emotions. That's it.
মানে আপনার ফিল্ম মেকিংটা নিয়ে বলেন, যে বিকজ আমি পার্সোনালি যতদূর দেখছি হচ্ছে this is a completely new style of filmmaking that I've encountered. So tell us about that.
Well, new style, I don't know whether is it a new style or not, but for me it is new. And হচ্ছে যে বেসিক্যালি আমি যদি আরেকটু পিছনে যাই তাহলে বলবো যে হঠাৎ তখন লকডাউন চলতেছিল, ঠিক আছে। সো লকডাউন চলাকালীন হচ্ছে যে আমার মাথায় আসছে যে কেননা এমন ধরনের একটা স্টোরি করি যেটা কিনা কানেক্ট করতে পারে, মানে একটা ঘরের মধ্যে বন্দি হাজবেন্ড ওয়াইফের সম্পর্ক, ঠিক আছে? সো অবভিয়াসলি লকডাউন, আমি ম্যারিড না বাই দ্য ওয়ে, ঠিক আছে, বাট
Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. He's not
I'm
married.
not married, but I just thought that what if a husband and a wife could do in a house if they are not talking to each other, if they're like ওদের মধ্যে যদি ঝগড়া হয়, if they fight with each other, so sometimes you have to take few steps, sometimes not. So basically that moment, that one night story of love in story in between of love and hatred, basically interval হচ্ছে যে এই জিনিসটা। তো আমার যখন লকডাউনের সময় হচ্ছে, যখন আমার আইডিয়াটা আসলে আমি তাসকিরের সাথে শেয়ার করছিলাম ফার্স্ট, যে হচ্ছে দোস্ত একটা জিনিস ট্রাই করে দেখি এটা কেমন হয়। তো তাসকির তখন বলছিল যে এটা একটা ইউনিক আইডিয়া, একটা ইন্টারেস্টিং হবে যদি করা যায়। and I would like to thank pandemic and lockdown, that without lockdown or pandemic I guess I wouldn't have got this idea. So it is.
So the thing with this film is that, like we mentioned in the backstage, it's all home production. So
Yeah.
we've all gotten some taste of how the film was going to be, and this particular film, Farhad, Mohammed Farhad's film, tackles the issue of that marital limbo when two
Yeah.
people are not talking to each other. So what do they do? How do they communicate? They live it. I'm not going to give out spoilers. I'm trying not to give out spoilers, whether they live together or not. But imagine a couple who are together but apart. So how during that time they are basically navigating a no man's land. So how do they do that? And that's what we see in Interval. So we're gonna explore what was your experience while using a mobile to film a film, basically using mobile to film. How was your experience?
Well, first of all, maybe since 2014, I'm filming with my mobile phone. Once I had a DSLR, but I sold it because I saw that I don't need it. My smartphone is enough. And my mobile filmmaking experience is like that. First of all, it's a real freedom, because when you film in the street, nobody cares. They don't know that maybe you are making a film. They don't get you seriously, and it's an advantage for a filmmaker. And sometimes you don't have to have permission to film in a street, because normally if you have big cameras, a big team, etc., you have to have permissions. There is a bureaucracy and paperwork, but with mobile filmmaking, it's very fast and very practical. For my film The Lost Man, actually I was not thinking to film it with my mobile phone, honestly. I start to search for budget. I meet with some people. They said to me that they can work for the movie for free, but I have to rent some cameras like Alexa Mini or like DJI, for following the character. So it was kind of 3,000 euro budget just for the equipment rental. So I start to find the budget. I could not find it. I was like, okay, I let down that story and I start to write another one. There was another project. I was talking with my girlfriend. Like I said, you know what, I have a new story, I want to film it, etc., etc. She told to me, why not you just film The Lost Man? It was a good story. I said, yes, but I cannot find budget. I don't want to film like without budget, etc. She said, just you can film it, what you have, with what you have, you can film it. She's a photographer, by the way. So I said, okay, if you want, come to here. She's in Istanbul. Come to here and we film it together and what we have, etc. So we do like that. I mean, if I was looking for budget, I'm sure that this movie cannot exist. You know, I'm not good at it to find budget, etc. So it was like, okay, I wrote a story. It's a great idea, but just I did not film it. But hopefully nowadays with smartphone we can do that. By the way, for my film, I use iPhone 10, DJI Osmo Mobile, you know, for following people, a stabilizer. And I use the Filmic Pro application.
Yeah.
Filmic Pro application is something very professional. I advise to everyone who wants to film with mobile phone, because at least, you know, there is a like guide section, etc. There is lines on the screen. You can measure the light, focus, etc. So it is helping. And then voila, just in a one day we filmed it. We did not have a lot of rehearsals, only with actors. I had 2 rehearsals and I had 2 takes. So during the festival, what you will watch is the second take, because after second take, one of my actors, she said to me that she have to leave because, you know, I was not paying them. Everybody was volunteer. So she left, and hopefully I had that second take, which is working. It was not perfect, but it is working, and you will watch it. So it was the experience.
I want to point this out. You filmed the whole thing in one day?
Yes.
Oh, that takes a lot of effort.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that takes a lot of luck too. I was lucky. Because, you know, it's a one take, and as you know, just at the end of the film, if there is a mistake, you have to restart to all. And we were, if I don't count the actors, we were 3 persons. Me as a director and cameraman, I filmed my film. Sound guy, I took the sound separately. It is very important. I have to tell everybody that, okay, you can film with your smartphone, but if you can, please try to have the sound separately. And the sound is something that makes your film looks professional. So I took the sound separate.
We've from the guests that I've talked to, most of them complained about the sound. A lot of them complained the fact that it's harder to get the sound with a mobile phone. So
of course.
Yeah,
well,
please continue.
Honestly, I was knowing that the sound should be took separately. So I find the sound engineer with a boom. There was a boom operator. He came. I paid to him from my pocket for one day. It was not much. I mean, for one day you can pay. So that's it. I mean.
So আমি এখন তাজকির ভাইয়ের কাছে চলে যাব। তাজকির ভাই যেমন আমরা বেরাতের কাছ থেকে এতক্ষণ শুনতে পারলাম যে তার ফিল্মিং প্রসেসটা কিরকম ছিল, আমি তাজকির ভাইয়ের কাছ থেকে জানতে চাই যে আপনার মানে ফিল্মিং এর যে উনি তো ভালো দিকগুলো বললো, খারাপ দিকগুলো কি ফেস করেছেন মোবাইল দিয়ে ফিল্মিং করার সময়?
এই কোশ্চেনটা আসলে আমার সাথেই যায়, মানে আমার ফিল্মের সাথেও যায়। আমার ফিল্মটাও এমন যে মানে আমার ফিল্মটা করতে 2 সপ্তাহ মতো লাগছে। হ্যাঁ, সাধারণত আমরা যখন মানে আমরা কোনো মানে ফিল্ম করি, সিনেমা বানাই যখন, আমরা যখন অনেক বড় একটা টিম, ঠিক আছে, তখন হয়তো সর্বোচ্চ 2 মিনিটের মতো লাগে, মানে 2 দিনের মতো লাগে, সরি। তো আমার এইটার ক্ষেত্রে কমপক্ষে 2 সপ্তাহ মতো লাগছে। এটার একটা কারণ হচ্ছে যে আমি ফার্স্টে যখন ফিল্মটা মানে আমি যখন প্রি প্রোডাকশন করি, তখন আমার সাথে 5-6 জনের একটা টিম ছিল, কিন্তু শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখা যায় যে আমার একটা ফ্রেন্ড, অনলি ওয়ান ফ্রেন্ড, ও আমার সাথে থাকে, যার নাম আশিকুর রহমান। নামটা আমি বলতে চাই বেশি করে, কারণ আরো বিষয় আছে কিছু, যেমন আমার নিজের কোনো স্মার্টফোন নেই ফার্স্ট। হ্যাঁ, সো যখন আমি মানে এই ফিল্মটা নামাবো, আমার তো একটা স্মার্টফোন লাগবে। সো ওই দিক দিয়ে ও হেল্প করছে। তারপর আমার আমার সাউন্ড তো ভালো লাগবে, কারণ আমার ফিল্মে কোনো ডায়লগই নেই। সো সেই ক্ষেত্রে আমার মানে ওই হেল্প করছে, ওর কাছে একটা বয় ছিল, সো ওই দিক দিয়ে হেল্প করছে, ট্রাইপড ছিল। মানে আমার কাছে কিচ্ছু নেই, আমার কাছে শুধু বলতো। হ্যাঁ, আর আরেক দিক দিয়ে হয়েছে যে মানে আমার ফিল্মের সাথে মানে টোটালি আমার যে ফিল্ম মেকিং এর জার্নিটা, এই টোটালি মিল আছে। মানে আমি যে মেসেজটা দিতে চাইছি ঠিক সেম জিনিসটা, মানে আমি শেষ পর্যন্ত ফিল্মটা বানাই ছাড়ছি আর কি, মানে কমপ্লিট করছি। এবং অনেক
ধাক্কাই আসুক না কেন,
হ্যাঁ, যত ধাক্কা আসুক না কেন, মানে এটা কেমন হয়েছে আমি জানি না, কিন্তু হয়তো
you lived up to your story.
হ্যাঁ, এবং আমার এমন ছিল, আমার যে কাস্ট, সে মানে ও আর কি মানে প্রথমবার ক্যামেরার সামনে। সো ও আর কি অনেক মানে আমার ট্রেনের কয়েকটা শট ছিল যেগুলো আর কি নিতে যায় আমার 3 দিন ট্রেন মিস হয়েছে। হ্যাঁ, ও আর কি মানে কমফোর্টেবল না, ও বলে আমি একটু পরে দিব, এরকম বলতে বলতে ট্রেন চলে গেছে। আর আমার লোকেশন গুলো অনেক জায়গা ছিল, 6-7টা জায়গা লোকেশন ছিল, যেগুলো আমার যে হোম টাউন ওইখান থেকে অনেক দূরে, আধা ঘন্টার পথ কিংবা 1 ঘন্টার পথ, এরকম করতে করতে আসলে টাইমটা অনেক বেশি লেগে গেছে। সো এইসব আরো অনেক বেশি ডিফিকাল্টিস আছে, সো এইগুলাই আর কি।
So here's a fact worth mentioning is that both Iatullah, Momen, Tajkir and Mohammed Farhad have worked in each other's films. So tell us
Okay.
about your joint experiences. How let's start with Farhad. Is that how did that experience go?
Basically, it was under the banner of ULF Film Club. So yeah, that adds another designation that I'm the president of ULF Film Club. So yeah, anyway, basically when Tajkir came up with the idea, I was like, well, whenever we come up with the idea, we just both say that let's do it.
Did come up with the idea for interval?
No, not really. For Sandhikhon. I'm still talking about Sandhikhon. So yeah. So when Tajkir actually came up with the idea, Sandhikhon, we just say that yeah, you should do it. You should definitely do it. Then every single night, Tajkir used to call me up and just say, usually we friends as like bhaiya, we friends call dost. So dost, yeah, we friends call.
Friend, dost. You said dost.
Yeah, we say dost. Yeah.
In Turkish, we say also dost.
Oh, nice.
What?
Nice.
Really? Yes, dost. It's the same word.
Dost. Yeah.
We use dost and arkadaş.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, but dost is very famous. I mean, everybody knows dost.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, basically, Tajkir used to call me up every night and just say, "Dost, I shot this scene. This shot. Well, I wish I could explain it better because I really don't want to give spoilers. So Tajkir, then I used to ask him that what about tomorrow? What's your plan for tomorrow? He just said that I guess I cannot do it because I have this problem, I have sound problem, I have this location problem, I have the cast problem, I don't have anyone with me. I just, well, as usual, Maliha knows that.
We're currently talking about Tajkir Bhai's film.
Yeah,
Sandhikhon. So we're talking about Sandhikhon, like how they planned out the movie.
So, and I used to tell him that, okay, let's come up with a new plan. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? So basically, I haven't paid a single penny, yet I am the executive producer for this reason. So yeah, that's the part of Sandhikhon. So what Maliha was asking about interval, Maliha কি জিজ্ঞেস করছিল?
আমি জিজ্ঞেস করছিলাম যে ভাইয়া যেমন মানে ফরহাদ ভাইয়া যেমন কাজ করছেন হচ্ছে তাজকির ভাইয়ের ফিল্মে, এখন তাজকির ভাইয়ের কাছ থেকে জানতে চাই যে আপনি যে ফরহাদ ভাইয়ের ফিল্মে কাজ করছেন, আপনার এক্সপেরিয়েন্সটা।
ওকে,
আমার এক্সপিরিয়েন্স বলতে আমরা তো ওই মানে লকডাউনের সময়, লকডাউন না ঠিক, লকডাউন খোলার পরে তাও আমরা আর কি মুভ করতাম না, বাসায় থাকতাম। আমি ফরিদপুর, ফরহাদ ঢাকা। তো আমরা বেশিরভাগ টাইমেই মিটে আমাদের আলাপ করছি যে কিভাবে কি করা যায়। আমরা শর্ট ডিভিশন, তারপর কস্টিউম, এভরি সিঙ্গেল জিনিস, মানে আমরা প্রি প্রোডাকশনটা আগে আমরা সবাই মানে সামনাসামনি করতাম। আমরা ওই টাইমটাতে মানে অনলাইনে করছি প্রি প্রোডাকশন। আর যেদিন আমাদের মানে প্রোডাকশনটা হয়, মানে শুটটা হয়, আমি ফরিদপুর থেকে ভোরে রওনা দিই এবং ঠিক আমি যাওয়ার পরে অ্যাকশন শুরু হয়। মানে আমি গেছি, তারপরে অ্যাকশনটা শুরু হয়। সো মানে আমার
basically came from another city to work, and
yes.
then like he came from another, like literally another part of the country, and like came here, started working, then came to the capital, started working, and then they would move forward with the production, and তারপর কি ভাইয়া আবার ব্যাক করতে?
হ্যাঁ, আমি তারপরের দিন সকালে আর কি আবার
let me tell you the scenario. Basically the scenario was something like that. The lights were ready, the sounds were ready, I was sitting on the director's chair, Asif was ready with the camera, with the mobile phone, and just Tajkir just entered the door. He just opened the door. I just said action, and then the shoot started. So basically the scenario was something like that. Maliha,
we forgot to mention the designation of you guys in each other's films.
In Sandhikhon, I am the executive producer. In my film Interval, Tajkir is the associate director. Yeah.
So we've got a question here for Beraat, is that how did you plan your production?
How I did plan? You asked, right?
Yes, plan your production.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not good in planning, but of course I contact with journalists, like which day are you okay? I gave them a schedule, so we try to find a day everybody is free, and we find it, of course, with sound guy and me, my girlfriend, because we were the team, just 3 people, and the actors. And I decide that it should be weekend because the film is a building which is normally during the week is very busy because it's an association. So there are people who are coming, visiting, going, etc., etc. So I wanted that it should be closed and we are inside the building and we can film. So it was a weekend. Of course, I asked the manager of the association, the director of the association. I took permissions, etc. And then, as I told you, it was a weekend. We start like 10 o'clock. We do some practice 2 times, and we take a break. We have eaten together, and we reshoot. And it was like, I don't know, like it was before 5 p.m. we finished. It was like 3 p.m. and we finished, and that's all. And after that, for Adobe Premiere, I meet with the editing guy for the color and for subtitle, for generic credits of the film. That's it. It was not a big planning because it was a really small team. It was people that I know. So just the thing was, the most important thing was like find the day that everybody is okay, because I was knowing that only one day I will shoot. That's it.
So do you think you taking the whole film in one take made the process easier?
It depends. Maybe it is, maybe not. But what I know is that film should be one take, because the story is about not forgetting something, because I forget to tell you, but in the story, the guy tries to write a poem, but you know, if you try to write poems, sometimes you have an idea, you have to write. If you did not write, you can forget. So this guy is trying to not forget poem, but at the same time, he is looking for the pen that he will use. He have to use. So I said to myself, it should be in a real time. If this guy will search for 15 minutes, the pen, I wanted that really the audience spent the same time. Because if you cut, I don't know, maybe the guy was searching somewhere and you cut and you go to another scene, but maybe it's after 3 hours. I don't know, maybe after 30 minutes. I don't know how many times the guy tried to not forget poem. So I want that people can see it and experience it together with the character. So that's why for having real time, it should be without cut. I don't know, maybe if it was with cut, of course, it could be more easy. It could be more easy. But it was not my point. I mean, it's not interesting for me. For that movie, of course.
I understand, like, keeping in theme with the emotion of film, it was very, very important to do it in one take, as to for someone who's trying to remember. We don't remember in pauses. We try to, or at least hold on to. I have these moments as well where I have these things that are going on in my head and I need to write them down. And I like constantly make myself remember. So yeah, I resonate with that completely. So
and you know, if you see that the guy tries to not forget, the pressure and the stress is going up and up during the movie. You don't give a pause. So like to the end, he is kind of in a crisis. He's in a crisis, like, oh, I could not find my pen and I will forget everything. What I will do.
yeah, that's beautiful, and that's a very unique way. I absolutely love the way that cinematographers and directors use the camera itself to tell stories. So on that note, I would like to go back to Farhad Bhaiya and ask him that what was the process behind your cinematography? How did you come up with it?
Okay. ফার্স্টে হচ্ছে এটা ইয়াতে স্ট্যাটিক শটে নেওয়ার প্ল্যান ছিল সিনেমাটোগ্রাফির কথায় যদি আসি। দেন হচ্ছে আমার সিনেমাটোগ্রাফার আসিফ ভাইয়া, উনি বেসিক্যালি হচ্ছে যে ওয়েল অবভিয়াসলি ডিরেক্টর সিনেমাটোগ্রাফার মধ্যে একটা কমিউনিকেশন হয়, একটা আড্ডা হয়। সো ওই সময় হচ্ছে যে উনি বলছে হচ্ছে যে জিনিসটা হ্যান্ড হেলে আনি, এন্ড ওনার কজটা ছিল হচ্ছে যে যেহেতু আমরা ফিলিংসটাকে দেখাতে যাচ্ছি মোর অন ট্রিটমেন্ট, কেননা আমরা এটা হ্যান্ডেল করে আরেকটু বিরক্ত করি অডিয়েন্সকে। এন্ড আদার দেন অনেক শর্ট আছে, অনেক রং শর্টস আছে। বেসিক্যালি রুলসে যদি আমি যে অনেক রং পাওয়া যায়, সো আমরা হচ্ছে সব ধরনের রং জিনিসপত্র দিয়ে একটা পারফেক্ট ফিল্ম বানানোর চেষ্টা করছি। সো সিনেমাটোগ্রাফি হ্যাঁ এক্স্যাক্টলি। সো ইফ ইউ ওয়াচ ইট shot by shot, every single shot has broken the rule. So that's the main thing was. But well, I guess I can't say more than that.
Was it an artistic choice, or was it something that happened accidentally?
It was artistic choice. Yeah, it was artistic choice.
So now we're gonna move into a segment. So basically this is where we talk about DIMFF and mobile filmmaking in general. We've already talked about how mobile filmmaking goes for all three of you. So since we have DIMFF homebodies over here, I'm not gonna go back to I'm not gonna ask this question to them. Even though we've already had this discussion backstage, I would love to ask Beraat, how did you come to know about DIMFF and what are your thoughts on it?
I guess There is,
I think.
I guess you have to unmute yourself.
Wait,
Did you?
sorry, I asked it was for whom the question.
Oh,
Right. That must be technical difficulty. That's completely fine. What I was saying is that we would like to revisit your answer for how did you find the IMFF
Yeah.
and what drew you to it?
Yeah, I mean, when I did my film, like everybody else, I started looking for festivals. So I was on Film Freeway, and I started to search with the keyword mobile film, smartphone film festivals, etc. And I saw Dhaka Mobile Film Festival. So I checked out the pictures, photograph, because you cannot visit the festival. So what you have those pictures, and I look at it and I said it looks like something serious and professional. And after that, Bangladesh is very interesting country for me because I don't know a lot about Bangladesh. So I said, oh, they have a festival, so I should send my film, and maybe if they can select the film, I can meet with them, and I can know more about the country as well. That's why I sent my film. And also I recognize that there is a university which is very connected to the festival. So I said to myself, if there is some, teachers, university professionals, it should be something serious. That's why I said I should send it. And I don't regret. I'm very happy to be here with you.
We're also honored that you sent your amazing film to us. And
My honor.
it was amazing. It was amazing. So apart from that, I would like to ask our very own is that মানে আমরা তো তখন ধরে কথা বললাম যে ফিল্মের জিনিসটা কিভাবে আসছে কিভাবে করছে so how challenging was it to work for DIMFF and work in your own productions?
me.
হ্যাঁ
Okay. First of all, it was challenging. It's true, but the fact is, rather than challenging, it was fun, to be very honest, because at first I haven't thought that I will get the opportunity to submit my own film in spite of being a submission manager. But my advisor, I would like to thank him a lot, honestly, Sajjad sir. He actually told me that you are a student, you guys should practice filmmaking, so you should submit as a filmmaker. Forget about being a submission manager, just submit your film. Because eventually at the end of the day, we are not going to judge your film. The jury is going to judge your film. So yeah, basically that's what happened. And other than that, in spite of being a submission manager, when I started, when Sajjad sir was helping me out with the stories, so me and Tajkir actually presented the concept that we planned 2-3 months ago. Then we formed a team. The teams are basically the executives of DIMFF. And the cinematographer is the ex-festival director, festival director of 2019. And the producer of Interval was festival director of 2020. So I was lucky enough that I got the whole bunch of DIMFF team to work on my film. And it wasn't that much challenging because the advisors actually helped us to make a great and successful for me at least, because actually we made it at the end of the day in spite of all the activities of the event. So yeah, it was a bit challenging, but it was fruitful.
Tajkir bhaiya.
আচ্ছা আমি কি বলবো, আমি এই যে সাজ্জাদ স্যার যে কথাটা বললো ফরহাদ, মানে সাজ্জাদ স্যার আসলে আমাদের অনেক সাহস দিচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে, মানে তার সাহসের কারণে আমরা আসলে লাগাইতে পারছি অনেকটা, এবং আমাদের প্রতিটা জিনিস সে মানে মনিটর করছে আমরা কিভাবে কি করতেছি, শেয়ার করছি তাকে, সে আমাদেরকে মানে কিছু আইডিয়া দিচ্ছে, সেইভাবে আর কি আগাইছি। যেটা সব থেকে মানে আমার কাছে যেটা মানে আমার কাছে ইন্টারভেল একটা স্বপ্নের মতো ছিল, যার জন্য আমি যতই কষ্ট হোক আমি মানে এখান থেকে ঢাকা পর্যন্ত যাইতে আমার ঝামেলা হইলো। তো বাসায় একটু প্রবলেম করছিল যে না যেতে দেওয়া যাবে না, কিন্তু আমি ওইটা মানে মানাই নিছি তাদেরকে যে না আমার যাইতেই হবে। তো এইটাই মানে আমার খুবই মানে স্বপ্নের মতো ছিল, এবং আশা করি যে সবাই দেখলে এটা বুঝতে পারবে আসলে আমরা কি চাইতেছিলাম। এটাই।
I'm looking forward to it. While we're on the topic of DIMFF, we were talking about mobile filmmaking in general in the backstage, and you were talking about how a lot of mainstream directors and some big shot directors have adopted this method. So would you tell us a bit more about that? Your mic is muted.
Sorry. Yes. First of all, there was a movie which called Tangerine. Did you hear about that movie? Tangerine. Tangerine was a movie shot by mobile film, mobile smartphone, and sorry, I had a problem here.
Okay.
Just a second. On my computer, I have. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
But I cannot see you. What did happen? Oh yes, it's okay now. So there was a movie shot by smartphone, Tangerine, and that movie did Sundance Film Festival. It was like 2015 or something like that. And in the United States, that film get a distribution in the country. So it was a time like, oh, everybody was okay, wow, with smartphone, it could be something serious, etc. And after that, right now there is Soderbergh, for example, the very famous director and very great director. He did Ocean's 11 and the others movie. He did 2 movies with smartphone. He did one horror movie, feature film, and he did a film about basketball, and right now it's on Netflix. So little by little it becomes very serious. And as I told you before, and as you know very well, for example, iPhone, the last smartphone 12 Pro, you can film like Dolby Vision, which is like 4K or more than that. So the camera is really, really good. Of course, sometimes with a little light during night, it can be problematic, but with the Alexa camera, a cinema camera, you can also have problem without light, etc. So during the day, it's working great. With the lighting, good lighting, during night you can film, and everybody start to film with it. It will be more and more. So it's like a future. Actually, I call it, French New Wave in the history of cinema, like Godard, Truffaut. What they did, they start to film in the street, between people. It was not studio movie, very, very free storytelling.
Can you tell me a little bit about French New Wave for our audiences?
Yeah, I mean, it was, they start to film in street. It was more real. It was not usual storytelling. The editing was different. The acting was different. Sometimes they used no actors, etc. They were film critics from Cahiers du Cinéma, and they start to do their films. So in my opinion, mobile film making is the new wave, because with this opportunity right now, it's really democratic. And if someone has a story to tell, they can explain. What I mean is, movie making is not for some elites right now, okay? Because everybody has smartphone. I mean, almost everybody in their pocket, they have smartphone with a camera. For example, I am reading a journal from a Turkish director. He was a poor guy, okay, Ahmet Uluçay, and he was, when I start to read his diary, he is like, if I had this camera, I can do this movie. Why I don't have this camera? Blah blah. You know. So, and he is right, because at that time, even there were no digital cameras. He was a genius, but without money. Sometimes I'm asking myself, oh, if the time of Ahmet, if there was those smartphones with this camera, I'm sure he decided to film with smartphone. So you see, it's really a new wave of the cinema. So just keep doing it.
A beautiful way to put it. That is such a beautiful way to put it, because I was about to ask you whether you think mobile filmmaking is a new wave of cinema, and I love that you already think so. So now we're nearing the end. We're nearing the end of our program. We're at the almost last 5 minutes. So during this particular time, we check the comment section and we take questions from our audiences. So let's see whether we have some questions or not.
How many audience we have?
Currently, we have quite a few watching. We do have quite a few audiences.
Okay.
So the question that we have for Beraat, we've already discussed it, your production plan. And our festival director, Rafi Ahmed, has personally asked a question to Farhad Bhaiya, is that, ভাই সিনেমাটা কি জীবন থেকে নেয়া?
অনেকের অনেকের জীবন থেকে নেয়া,
অনেকের জীবন থেকে নেয়া, যেটা আমি তখনই বলছিলাম যে এই ফিল্মটা মানে অনেকের
জীবন থেকে নেয়া, এক্স্যাক্টলি
অনেকের জীবন থেকে নেয়া। সো রাফি ভাই আরো জিজ্ঞেস করছে যে আপনার কোন নেক্সট ফিল্মে ওনাকে অভিনয় করার সুযোগ দেওয়া হবে কিনা।
এটা আমাকে করছে না তাসকির কি?
এটা আপনাদের দুজনকেই করা হয়েছে।
তাসকির শুড আনসার ইট। তাসকির
হ্যাঁ নেওয়া যাবে। নেক্সট আরেকটা ভাবতেছি, ওইটাই হয়তো ঢোকানো যাবে আমাদের ফেস্টিভ্যাল ডিরেক্টরকে সাইড রোল হিসেবে।
আপনাদের হচ্ছে আমাদেরকে তন্ময় জিজ্ঞেস করেছেন, নিয়াজ ইবনে গোলজার তন্ময়, যে আপনাদের মধ্যে কি কোনো যৌথ প্রযোজনা হবে কিনা?
তন্ময়ের সাথে নাকি আমাদের মধ্যে?
আপনাদের মধ্যে।
আমাদের সবকিছু যৌথ প্রযোজনা, আমাদের সবকিছু যৌথ প্রযোজনা।
এটা নিয়ে আমরা তখন কথা বলতেছিলাম যে সবকিছু যৌথ প্রযোজনা। Okay, so I have a personal question for Beraat, is that if you could like for someone who has not watched films ever, if you could suggest one film, which film would you suggest?
Wow, it's a tough question. I mean, you know, I'm sure that when I give to you a name of movie, and after some hour I will tell myself, why I did not tell the other thing. Because I really love a lot movie making and films, but I think it's not just my idea, by the way. Who was the director who said that? But for the movie, you know, Citizen Kane from Orson Welles, some director also, they said that, like, if you forget everything about movie making, that film is like the guidelines how to do a movie: story, cinematography, acting, everything. So if I have to give someone an advice, it can be Citizen Kane, but it is not an easy movie too. It's kind of a bit dark, you know. So
yeah,
if you ask me, not auteur cinema, something like everybody can love and enjoy, I can tell you It's a Wonderful Life from Frank Capra. No, it's an old movie. really, I love that. And actually, there is an online master class with David Lynch that I got, and he is telling also that movie. I mean, It's a Wonderful Life from Frank Capra. It's really very emotional and very humanist movie.
I'm gonna jot that down for personal reasons. I will watch that film.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's really lovely movie.
Yeah. But this is what I do. This is why I talk to filmmakers, because they open my mind to new perspectives, and that is something I personally enjoy. I don't make films.
May I give another name of movie?
Of course.
I know you said one, but just in France on Netflix, there is a movie from Claude Sautet. He's a French director, and the name of the movie is Les choses de la vie, which means the thing of. Sorry, I have a battery problem here, so
it's okay.
I have to have my cable. Okay, sorry. Yes. All right, I think. Yeah. So yeah, the name of the film is the Things of Life, from Claude Sautet. That movie is also like a book for filmmaking, especially for editing. It's really unbelievable. Oh, that's all.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I am literally writing it down because I have a problem with forgetting. But anyway, I will definitely watch the films that you have suggested. And I love talking to all of you so much that I didn't see the time and we've run out. It's 10 p.m. right now. And thank you so much for Beraat, Farhad Bhaiya, and Tajkir Bhaiya for giving us your valuable time today and talking to us about your film.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So before we bid our goodbyes, I would like to remind everyone that you're cordially invited to DIMFF's opening ceremony at 26 February and closing ceremony at 2 sessions in between. You will find the opening ceremony link in Zoom. We will be hosting the opening ceremony in Zoom, so anyone from any part of the world can participate and talk to us. We will be hosting a live Q&A session with the directors of the first screening session. So it will be a great chance for all the audiences to indulge and ask questions. And the closing ceremony will be hosting it in Dhaka. We will be hosting it in Dhaka at Bosundhara City at Star Cineplex, and you're all invited. Those of you who have bought tickets and made us go complete house full, thank you so much. And until then, ভালো থাকবেন সবাই, সুস্থ থাকবেন এবং DIMFF এর সাথে থাকবেন। অন্য কোনো information, for any other information or anything else, please visit our website, and also you can take a peek at our Facebook page. Thank you so much for being with us today. Shubharatri.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm really happy to meet with you because you have a great energy. You are smiling. It's my first time that I'm talking like this with people from Bangladesh, and I'm very happy to meet with you. Thank you.
The pleasure is all ours.
Thank you.